All right, thanks, guys. Once again, we are coming off a 3-0 day yesterday on my Patreon website. That's going to put us at 7-2 in our last 9 daily best plays on that site. And that package costs just $1.99 per month. Link for that site is in the description section below. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. And of course, if you're a Patreon member, congratulations. Yesterday was a huge day. Now we're looking to do a little bit more of the same today. And we do have some college bowl games to get into. So we're just going to quickly touch on them real quick. We're not going to get too in-depth into the games. But we're going to go ahead and just kind of breeze by here. So let's go ahead and begin, starting with Central Michigan taking on San Diego State. And that's going to be a 2 o'clock Eastern kickoff in that game. San Diego State, they are the 3.5-point favorite, total at 40. Now, we did see movement towards San Diego State. We also saw movement downward on the total. So once again, the Aztecs are minus 3.5, total open 40.5, down to 40 even. 56% of the consensus are leaning towards San Diego State, 53% shaded toward the under. And right now, Central Michigan, they are plus 160 on the money line. Now, the Chippewas, really pretty good passing the football. They rank in the top 40 in yards per game through the air. Meanwhile, San Diego State, on the other side, they actually scored 20 points or less in their last 5 straight. Now, total-wise, San Diego State is a remarkable 11-1 to the under overall for the year. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the half a point. I'm going to buy it up and lean Central Michigan plus 4 in the under 40 total points in that game. All right, next matchup, it is going to be Liberty taking on Georgia Southern, and that's going to be a 2:30 Eastern kickoff in that contest there. Georgia Southern, they are the 5.5-point favorite, total at 58 and a hook. We did see a 2-point fade of Georgia Southern and movement upward on the total. Georgia Southern opened 7.5 down to minus 5.5. Total open 56 up to 58 and a hook. Now, Liberty, the Flames, they've successfully covered the point spread in 3 out of their last 4. Meanwhile, Georgia Southern, they've really struggled to cover the point spread away from home. And as a matter of fact, out of their 6 games away from home this year, they successfully covered the number in just 2 of them. Total-wise, Georgia Southern, 8-4 to the over on the season. I'm going to lean toward the Flames in this spot here. Give me Liberty plus 5.5 in the over, 58 and a hook in that game. Next matchup, SMU taking on FAU, and that's going to be a 3:30 Eastern kickoff in that matchup there. The Mustangs of SMU, the Pony Express, they are minus 7, totals at 63.5. 61% are leaning SMU, 67% shaded toward the over. Right now, FAU, Florida Atlantic, they are plus 250 on the money line. Now, SMU, if you followed them this year, you know they definitely have the ability to put up points. They scored 34 points or more in 9 out of their last 10 games. Conversely, they are 10-2 to the over thus far in the year. I'm going to lean toward the Mustangs in this spot here. Give me SMU minus 7 and the over 63.5 in that game. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines of personal leans out for Saturday's college football action, getting into bowl week here, or bowl month really, if you think about it. But before we go ahead and dive into some more free lines of personal leans right here on YouTube, I just want to quickly remind you, once again, to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where once again, we went 3-0 in our premium picks on that website yesterday. That's going to put us at 7-2 in our last 9 daily double package plays on that site as well. And that daily, I'm sorry, not the daily double, the daily best play. Forget it. It's a great website. I'm confusing myself here. But picks begin at just $1.99 per month. And like I said, we had a great day yesterday. We went 3-0 yesterday in our premium picks for that site. Link for that site is in the description section below. Wow, what a really great sales pitch, Brock. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. All right, let's go ahead and get into, we got 2 more games to cover. So let's go ahead and get into them. Our next matchup is FIU, Florida International, taking on Arkansas State. 5:30 Eastern kickoff in that game. Arkansas State, they are minus 1. They are favored in this matchup here. Totals at 60.5. 52% are leaning FIU, 53% shaded toward the over. Right now, FIU, they are plus 103 on the money line. Now, the Panthers of Florida International, they are 5-3 straight up in their last 8 games. They also successfully covered the point spread in their last 2 straight. Now, Arkansas State, they've allowed over 30 points per contest on average for the year. And as a matter of fact, they've given up 27 points or more in 9 out of their last 10 games. Now, total-wise, Arkansas State, no surprise here, 6-3 to the over in their last 9. Meanwhile, FIU, 2-0 to the over in their last couple of games themselves. I'm going to lean Florida International plus 1 and the over, 60.5 in that game. Of course, I'm going to slide into my next matchup, and that is going to be Boise State taking on Washington, and that's going to be a 7:30 Eastern kickoff in that contest there. The Huskies of Washington, they are the 3.5-point favorite, total at 48. We saw a half a point move toward Washington and movement downward on the total. The Huskies open -3, up to -3.5, total open 49, down to 48. 59% are leaning Washington, 56% shaded toward the over. Right now, Boise State is plus 145 on the money line. Now, the Broncos of Boise, they are just 3-4 against the spread in their last 7. I would like to say that their strength of schedule is in question a little bit. Of course, they cannot control their schedule. That's always been, kind of the gripe against Boise State. Not their fault, but still, when it comes down to it, their strength of schedule is still in question. And they did lose to BYU this year. Actually, that was on October 19th. So they suffered a loss to BYU. And BYU, they're not so great. They're solid, but, anyway. Moving on. Washington, they held their opponents to 13 points per contest in their last 3. They're also... of course, that's on average. So once again, Washington, they held their opponents to 13 points per game on average in their last 3. They also held their opponents to 23 points or less in 7 out of their last 10. And total-wise, Washington 3-0 to the under in their last 3. Boise 4-1 to the under in their last 5 themselves. I'm going to purchase the half a point, buy it down, and take Washington -3. And the under 48 in that game. And of course, I'm going to slide to my next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Appalachian State taking on UAB. 9 o'clock Eastern kickoff in that game. Appy State is the 17-point favorite, total at 48. We saw a 1-point move toward the Mountaineers and movement upward on the total. Appalachian State opened 16, up to -17. Total open 47, up to 48. I like the Mountaineers in this matchup here. Give me Appy State -17. And the under 48 in that game. All right, let's go ahead and dive into our quick pick recap. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we went a perfect 3-0 in our premium picks on that website yesterday. Like Appalachian State -17 under 48, Washington -3 under 48, FIU +1 over 60 and a hook, SMU -7 over 63 and a hook, Liberty +5.5 over 58 and a hook, and last but certainly not least, I like Central Michigan +4 and the under 40 total points in that game. All right, let's go ahead and dive into some shout-outs. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage. Shout out to Ziptic, Billy Boogaloo, Jordan Warren, I Saw Sand 72. Shout out to Young Ho Koo, Mike Klein, Danny D. Rock Mahaffey, Milagros Tremont, Evil Dax, Kiwi N2, Marvin Costello, T-Trev 30, Ninja Chris, Proline Master, Beamer Ball 4420, and last but certainly not least, shout out to Jerry, we the best. No, Jerry, you're the best. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on Patreon, where once again, we went 3-0 yesterday in our premium picks on that website. That's going to improve our record to 7-2 in our last 9 daily best plays on that site. The daily best play is just $1.99 per month. We also have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. Now, you may be wondering, well, why would I buy your Patreon package when, you just gave me all the picks for free right here on YouTube? Well, I'll tell you this much. A lot of what we do here on YouTube is we handicap every single game on the board, both the side and the total. We don't take any free passes. We don't do any stay-away games or stay-away picks. We formulate an opinion on every single game, side, and total. Well, if you were to do that in real life with your hard-earned money, bet every single game on the board, you're guaranteed to lose in the long run. And as a matter of fact, you're probably going to end up losing in the short run as well. The math is just grossly against you. The books are way too smart. They're way too sharp. So what we do on Patreon is we really narrow it down and dial it in and focus in on 3 to 4 premium selections per day. Sometimes more, sometimes less. They're games that I personally have action on. They are high percentage picks. And I'll tell you this much, my current record on Patreon is a whole lot better than it is throwing darts, handicapping every single game on the board here on YouTube. And you can actually check out my current Patreon record for free right now. All you have to do is click the link in the description section below. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. But most importantly, guys, I do have to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. Happy Saturday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you on patreon.com/BrockPage.